In this video, what we're going to be covering is the detail screens that are listed over here and explaining how this screen is designed to be used. Let's start out by the design and how it's supposed to be used. When you are in the process of looking for a vehicle and a dealer, what you're going to be doing is you need to collect information that is key to selecting the vehicle that you want to purchase. You can visit as many dealers as you want and as many dealer cars as you want to add to the list that is in this area. And basically what we're doing is we're going to do the vehicle search first, and I'm going to pop up the screen and show you what that does. It brings up a URL. In this particular case, it's set for the eBay. Now you have a lot of places you can check. This little screen up here, this little area up here actually has the URL for this particular thing for eBay. If you click in this, it'll drop down and give you a list of the different places that are added to this listing right at this time. And you'll see up here where it says add your vehicle maker. And what this is actually telling you is you need to add it to this drop-down list. In this case, we're looking at eBay Motors. If I wanted to go to one of the other ones that are listed in here, I could go ahead and do that. And there's some interesting places like Kelley Blue Book. There's a lookup for the Moroni sticker if you wanted to actually use the VIN number for what was included from the vehicle on, or to get an actual breakdown of the window sticker. Most new cars will have the window sticker either attached to the window or laying somewhere in the vehicle. You can take your camera, for example, if you want to, and take a picture of it as a picture and add it to the window sticker, where that window sticker button is over on this side. Or you can put that information into anything you want to as far as the management of that window sticker. You can do Google search, which is a standard Google search where you want to look for dealers yourself and find places that you do not know are in your local area. Or in my case, I live in Sedona, Arizona. And if I wanted to look in Phoenix or someplace nearby, I could go to Google and I could search, for example, for a Ford dealer if I were looking for a Ford or a Chevrolet or whatever kind of vehicle I want. Or I can go to some place like eBay Motors, which are going to be covering some interesting techniques for finding how you can sell your car and what it's actually worth. And then that still goes with the Kelley Blue Book as well. And then we have a company that is where you want to buy used cars that have mileage on them at BP. And BP is a very interesting site because it'll actually transport the car to your doorstep from anywhere in the United States. And then you can have it for a period of time. I think it is 10 days. And then you're allowed to return it if you don't want to keep it, or you can finance it and then go ahead and buy it directly from them and not have to return it. AutoNation is a very large dealership, and they have a lot of vehicles that you can compare to prices that you find at other dealers. And this is really a game of comparing information from different sites and locations in order to find what you're looking for. In this particular case, I'm going to jump over to eBay. I'm going to show you something that very few people know about. If I go to an actual, say like for example, I want to go into trucks. I can go into trucks and it would display that information for trucks. And then what I can do is I can slide down the screen to lower areas down here, and I can see vehicles that have actually sold and what they sold for. What does this do for you? For example, it says auctions and listings. You keep on going down until you get down to the bottom here, and it says sold listings. I can click on that and it's going to change the screen, and now it's going to list items that have been sold recently and what they were actually sold for. Now this is a very, very important thing if you're trading your vehicle in. You would go ahead and use the information on the side over here to describe your vehicle, to look for other vehicles that have been offered on eBay Motors. Then what you can do is go ahead and see how they sold. If they sold recently or other ones have sold, you can see the kind of vehicle you looked up and then what they sold for. That is very helpful, and you can do this too, like it shows the year and the actual mileage of that vehicle and how much it sold for. In this case it says best offer accepted, which was actually lower than the offer price, and that date was sold in August 23rd. And if you want to view similar vehicles in action items right here, you can go ahead and click here, or you can sell one like this on eBay Motors if you want to sell your own trade-in. So that's what's really kind of an important thing. Now, if I wanted to switch, I can basically go back to the list and say, for example, I wanted to go to Google. Wait for a second. You'll notice that actually on the application, the websites come up very, very quickly within this application. Really is kind of nice to be able to do that. Now, if you want to add another URL, you go up to where the vehicle web URL is up here, and this is on any screen that has a drop-down list. You can click here, and what it'll do is it'll present, in this case, the vehicle search web portal. If you click add a new record, it's going to blank out this information. Then you can take any website you want, type in the narrative about what that website is as far as what they actually do. In this case, it's Google search, and then paste the URL in here. That way, when you go back and you go back to the vehicle selection area, and you want to go ahead and pick a vehicle in the search area like dealer search, you'll see in dealer search it does the same thing. There's a list of dealers that pop down here. I have just a couple. You can add as many as you want from your local area, but if you wanted to modify those, you would come in here, and now it's dealer search web portals. Where is this found? This is also linked over here where you have the vehicle search web portal, the dealer search portal itself for the individual dealers. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to vehicle selection. Vehicle selection also is important for you when you're on the website at the dealer website, is to collect information. In this particular case, I typed in vehicle number 1, AutoNation Ford, and I had gone to the AutoNation, and that, with the drop down that we just showed you, to AutoNation, and I went through, and I'm not going to buy a Ford, but I wanted to go ahead and use that as an example. I put an AutoNation vehicle in and put its stock number for the vehicle, which is shown right here. Where did I get this information? It's right on the listing. If you click on a vehicle screen where you see an image, it will take you into this particular screen and give you the breakdown and information about this. Now, as a buyer, this is critical information. You'll notice that there is information here where it says it's a 2017 Ford Explorer base model. This one down here doesn't have that information. Each individual dealer puts his own information that he wants to. Now, in this particular case, you'll see that they show the MSRP, the sales price on the window sticker at $32,695. The dealer himself gives a cash back of $750. Now, there's also a Ford Explorer credit retail bonus customer cash of $250. Be aware, some of these are not correct, because what they do, you have to qualify for each one of these unless it's factory cash. It does not say factory cash. If it's factory cash, what they're doing is the factory offers at certain times of the year breakdowns of the actual price from this one up here. They will add a discount, and it's particular to the model and type of vehicle. The reason that they do that is they're probably slow movers and they want to get them out of the inventory. So the factory actually drops in a discount to the dealer, and then the dealer turns around with the available incentives. He drops it from 32 to 31. Basically, he's taken $1,000 off of it. Linked, I put the link in here is back to the dealership to that particular vehicle for the information. You may have to copy the link in. Sometimes they do not put the link in for the actual vehicle that you're looking at. In this particular case, I put the URL in by copying it from the top of the screen and the URL blank at the top for that vehicle I was viewing at the time. Now, then I typed in the stock number in here. I put the dealer type and their stock number in there. This is very important because it's going to show up in several places in the application when you're looking for selecting a vehicle. Now, I have two vehicles I picked. This time I went to Chapman and Chapman Ford, and in this case this is not a base model. This one has an MSRP of $38,115. This is something you can do, is comparing base models to the difference spread in price, and you can obviously see that's about $6,000 difference between the two. Now, it's very important to understand that these have packages. What is a package? A package includes additional equipment on new vehicles where they describe the individual additional items that are added. In this particular case, this dealer here actually added additional information where if I scroll up, I can see it in here. And by the way, they also added the VIN. If you wanted to go to the sticker website and put that VIN number in, it will give you a copy of the sticker so you can see the precise information that's on that sticker. That's one option. The other is to take a picture yourself of the actual options at the dealership of the Moroni or window sticker so you have a comparison between that. Now, when you're just cruising through these and adding them, you can add as many as you want. This will scroll and give you as many transaction example cars as you want. And this scrolls so you can add an unlimited number, but you're only looking at one transaction in this record. Add a new record if you're going to start a new transaction. What would be a new transaction? Well, maybe you decided after you'd looked at these vehicles and you'd compared some that you may want to go to look at maybe Chevrolet and see how they compare. You can go ahead and add a new record, which would make this number 2, and then you can go ahead and add the same kind of information here and compare the difference between the vehicles, between a base model and a loaded model, or a luxury, as they call it, model, with other stuff like tinted glass and all that stuff. The package is very interesting as far as when you're reading about a vehicle. You need to compare packages before you actually go to the dealership. So you may want to take the VINs and run the VINs just to see the difference. Now, by its absence, it's very clear that this model up here, they're kind of not giving you the full information. They included the VIN here, but up here they didn't. So that doesn't give you an option other than trying to go and use this particular information. In this case, we selected this vehicle, and you have a radio button where you say, I like this vehicle, I like it more than this one, and I like the information, and I looked at the VIN, and I traced it in the actual application. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop really quick over here, and I'm going to go to Vehicle Search, and I'm going to show you that if you go to this website here, where it says, let's go ahead and scroll up, it says look up vehicle data, or this is the one we want. What it's going to do, it's going to give you a website that includes a lot of information about how to check the VIN, how to get your window sticker, as far as the Moroni sticker is concerned, and give you the option to look at that package that is in each one of these if you have the VIN number. And you can see that this site is kind of important, and it says decoding the VIN. It allows you also, if you have a vehicle that does not have a new car sticker on it, you can actually get the original decoded VIN number and break it down by the VIN number and see what that vehicle had in it as far as how it was supposed to be delivered when it was sold new. So that's a nice thing to know, that you can do those kind of things. And this same website, if you click up on both window stickers and other things, it gives you a lot of other additional information. There is another link I put in there called Look Up Vehicle Data, which is a part of this website. Let's let it go up. Here it comes. And this allows you to get additional information like a car dealer locator, how to get quotes, how to buy your car, additional information, and the cost of a car from the owner, owning a car, and what that you should be looking for. And then again, once again, it has the how to look up a VIN and how to decode the VIN. So there's a lot of information here. What is the VIN? And it explains what the VIN is. What is a window sticker? And just really a lot of good information. You can see I'm still scrolling down. First car radio history and all that kind of stuff. So there's quite a bit there. In order to close any of these windows, just click in any blank area on the side. You can actually click on one of these buttons and it would go ahead and allow you to access it. Okay, so now let's retake a couple of things that we looked at. We already know we're adding a number of vehicles into this area for one transaction, and as many vehicles as you want. If you wanted to, you could pop over to the individual portal and get a better picture view of this. It brings over the information so it's easier to read and edit if you want to edit it. And it also brings over the auto nation stock key number, which is right there. And the information you might want to use is if you go to the dealership and you're looking for a vehicle, the vehicle that was added on their site, you're going to want to look on the windshield and look up for this actual number here, because that's added by the dealership for each individual vehicle they receive from the factory. So that's how you would use that information as far as the stock key number. In this case, again, you see that we did have a URL here that we could use to go to that particular vehicle, that one by that stock number. Okay, let's go back over to the main window again in vehicle selection. And we also, where we're here, we looked at the portal. The next thing we're going to do is that you can go in and do dealer search. Like I said, you can use some of these dealers But the reason I'm over at the screen, say I want to add a new dealer, I can go ahead and look at the Google key, find a different dealer. So for example, if I type in Chevrolet, Phoenix, Arizona, it would take me to a whole listing on that screen where I can navigate around the web. And what I would do is I would take the URL at the top of the screen for the particular vehicle I'm interested in. Now I'm going to point out something that's kind of interesting. When you're on a website and you're looking at a vehicle that was selected, for example, if I go to Chapman Ford, I'm going to wait a second for it to come up. When you go to Chapman Ford, you're going to be able to see individual records as far as the, here it says it's not found on the server. Let's go ahead and go to a different one. Then we'll go to, I had that up there to look at. Let's go back to this one, and what we're going to do is we're just going to put in Ford. This is not a bad thing to do, so I can just say Ford and search for it, and you can see that I have Ford dealers here to pick on. Now when you're in this screen and you open up one of these, you can go in here, for example, and just click on Ford. It's 216 Fords. At the top of the screen, and what I want to point out is that you do not see the URL at the top of the screen because the URL is omitted from this particular screen. But what you can do is you can window shop and find a particular vehicle either in new inventory. For example, if I clicked in new inventory, I could pick the kind of model and everything I wanted to, and I could see how they're pricing them. If it's within the range of something I'm interested in, then what you could do is bring up your browser, go back to that dealership, and copy the URL and put it into your drop-down list. And at the same time, if you're working in here and you want to take the information from a particular vehicle, and then I click on it, for example, if I click on this one, you can see that it's going to bring up this information. And as I go through that information, depending on the website I go to, you'll see something in this particular case. There is the information that we want to put into our little block over here on the other side. And what you can do is you can click in this screen, and it usually says select all in this particular case. It'll give you this little sweeping thing here. You can go up and you can sweep in the information you want to actually use. And you do that with a finger on the iPad or the iPhone. And then you can say copy. And you can come back over here and then paste it into this area. I'm not going to replace what's already in there, but that's the idea. You just paste the information in, or you paste any amount of information you want to take from that website for that vehicle. Then as you do your selection, you would check not assigned. If you're not going to assign it to a possible use, go ahead and put not assigned. You haven't really considered that vehicle yet. If you don't use it and you're not going to buy that vehicle, you're not interested in it, click on don't use. And then on selected car, that's one that you want to compete against other vehicles that you're looking at. Okay, so we've done the dealer search, we've done the vehicle search, we're looking at the vehicle selection. Now let's go to the vehicle photos. There is a difference between these. Now we're seeing popovers. In this particular record for the ID number 1, these are pictures of all the vehicles that we've actually selected. And in some cases, we've taken more than one picture at a particular dealership. And if I want to see it in this view, I can go ahead and click on the portal and see the vehicle from that side and keep it in my records. And I know that the stock number is this, and it's from the Chapman motor dealership. So now I know I can take close-up looks at them, and I can compare this to the quality of the actual vehicle if I go to the dealership. For example, it's a good idea when you're doing this to ask questions about body damage, scratch, dents, and whatever before you actually go look at a vehicle. Now, if it's a brand new vehicle on the lot, that probably wouldn't be the case, but if you're looking for a used car, you want to definitely ask the questions about damage or anything that specific to scratches and dents, or the things like how many miles on it in a used car at this point in time. Now, in most of these dealerships, they're going to actually tell you how many miles is on the new car. It may need to be updated when you get to the actual dealership because you're not for sure until you get there whether or not that's still accurate. Okay, let's go ahead now. We did the vehicle selection screen. We looked at the vehicle photos. Now the window sticker. In this particular this is a scrolling list, and you can allow to scroll it by going up and down. What I did here is I just took an image to show you. It'll put an image in, and then I used a screen capture on a website, and I took the top of the Moroni sticker and the bottom of it and put it in two different fields here. And if you go into the actual portal, you're going to see that I actually notated over here. This is page 1 of a random window sticker. Note that this is not an actual sticker found on a new car. And actually it is, but what it wasn't for this particular vehicle. I just wanted to show you that you can capture with a screen clipping tool on your computer or on the Mac itself. You can do the or iPad. You could actually scroll in and take all this information, like I showed you the two little dots where you scroll in and take that information off the website and then paste it into here for the Moroni. As you can see, it has all the data as far as what is included on that vehicle for that particular one by that particular URL at that dealer. So that's important to understand that. Okay, now there is another one where it says vehicle dealer photos. What these are the ones that you saw in that record, basically, that were the individual ones by the dealer itself and by that stock number. And we're going to go down to the next level, which is the search by. We already went in there and showed you the search, but I wanted to show you that the dealer things are actually broken down for the particular screen. Now the difference between these screens, and go back to vehicle selection, is that there is also an additional button here. We're going to do the buyer's order separately, so we're not going to do that in this particular video. But in this case, I have a vehicle search list view. And what this does is it gives you a list view for up to as many cars as you put into the database, and it'll give you what dealership they're from, its stock number, the vehicle year, the make, and the model. That way you can go in and say, well, I want to see the Ford one, or I want to go up here and see AutoNation. The AutoNation one will come up and you'll see the data and any comments that you may have wanted to have added. And this is coming from the list view, so this it's portal view of that. And then I can pop over if I wanted to and look at that particular vehicle or another vehicle by its stock number in a better picture. Okay, so that tells us a lot about this application so far. Let's do one more thing. We're going to go back to the selection area. And what we're going to do is we're going to conclude this set of video tutorials in more depth. We're going to be going in and looking at the principal record screen that we're going to be using for doing the buyer's order. And I'm going to be explaining what that is in the next video. Thank you.